As the NHS enters a period of radical change and financial challenge, the Healthcare Strategy Forum at Crewe Hall provided an opportunity for leaders to share ideas on future direction. Thought leaders presented their strategies, and NHS delegates networked with peers and industry contacts to discuss innovative solutions to the challenges ahead.
In my presentation today, I'm going to be covering some of my thoughts about the nature of change that the NHS is undergoing at the moment, and some of the strategies that leaders might want to adopt to enable them to respond positively to that. And I think it's going to be really important because the scale of the change is so dramatic.
The advantages in this conference, were the limited number of suppliers and consultants to talk with, and so that was not so overwhelming like you would get in an exhibition hall. And that was meant that the interaction was of a higher quality because you had more time to speak with them and individually. So I found that valuable. I learned more.
I will cover in my presentation the differences between the German healthcare system and the UK healthcare system. I think the UK system is a very centrally driven system with the NHS structure. In Germany we have a very decentralized structure, heavily driven by competition, by customers, ultimately by patients. What we could learn from the UK is you have a lot of experience with shared services, something we do on a very local level still, and I think we should look into what your experience is.
In my presentation today, I covered the approach that we've taken to integration in Yorkshire and Humber SHA, why we wanted to do that, why it was important, the benefits that we could get out of doing that integration, and the plans that we had for the future. And this is important because I'm convinced that integrating systems will be much more relevant now following the publication of the recent white paper by the new government.
Well, what I'm going to be covering is how important speaking is at senior level. It's one of those things, people get to a senior level in their career, but it doesn't follow automatically that they get really good at public speaking. But it's so important because the ability to communicate your message and to persuade can make a massive difference to the results that you actually get.
I'm presenting with Tom Freemantle of Dreadnought Associates about the management of change in the NHS. A model that we use shows an organisation made up of two halves, the top half of the system and the bottom half of the system. The water represents the strategy flowing top down. The people that do the work are full of gas, and the gas is forced back up, and here you can see the speech bubbles going back up to the directors saying, you don't understand what we do down here, can you listen to us more? The trouble is that they meet each other at the bottleneck, and they get in the way of each other. And so instead of this system flowing smoothly and efficiently and effectively, one gets in the way of the other. Of course, you can inject energy into the system in a meaningful way so that everything happens smoothly. And that is done by, on the one hand, supporting the organisation, and on the other hand, putting two twists of energy, and the whole system looks like 1, 2, and the bubbles have disappeared, and the whole strategy flows smoothly.
The next Healthcare Strategy Forum is on the 24th and 25th of May at Sopwell House, St Albans. Please visit healthcarestrategyforum.com to book your free accommodation and delegate seat.